Kyle here, and I'm bringing Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, and I'm bringing you my manga chapter review for One Piece chapter 862. This was a very good chapter. I felt it was actually doing a lot of reinforcement and a lot of, and just like shit, like the main thing to say right now is that shit was finally hitting the fan in this chapter, and it was actually it was, even though shit was hitting the fan, it was very subtle, which is pretty interesting for a One Piece chapter, considering everything's going to be all bombastic. I assume everything's going to go bombastic next chapter, considering Luffy appeared in the final pages of this chapter. But yeah, I feel this chapter is good at reinforcing a lot of stuff in the midst of all the stuff hitting the fan. Um, the first to note is the death flags on the Vinsmokes. I feel that was the biggest thing that was reinforced here, but pretty much about both Big Mom and Reiju. Like Reiju was thinking to herself that yeah, the Vinsmokes at this point they are definitely a nation and a people and a group that need to die. Like it's and of course that need to die. It's probably going to be inevitable that the Vinsmokes are going to die. Because I as much as I would like to see them change their ways, I think it would be necessary. I think it would be necessary in order to put in order to put the final touches or the final sprinkles on all the development that Sanji himself has gone throughout this entire arc. Like the biggest thing that's happened in this arc is Sanji's development, and I feel that killing the Vinsmokes off would put the final touch on that development for him. I think, like, yeah, I'm not a Vinsmoke anymore. I'm just Sanji. But yeah, but yeah, like, but with the way that, but I feel that, but but with the fact that both Pudding and, but trust me, we'll get to Pudding and Dogtooth couldn't even kill Sanji. Trust me, we'll get to that both those bits in a minute. I feel that I feel that pretty much because at this point that they were unable to kill Sanji. I think Big Mom's gonna grow desperate and she's just gonna go order like everyone at the wedding in order to kill the Vinsmokes at this point. Like it doesn't. In either scenario, I can see the Vinsmokes dying. Like I think yeah, at this point, I think at this point it is inevitable that the Vinsmokes or at least Judge is going to die. I think like yeah, it has gotten to that point. Like especially with the force like Big Mom and the fact that all the Charlotte family is there. Yeah, I can foresee the Vinsmokes dying for sure. Um, now I want to talk about Pudding's backstory because in the midst of the wedding, her third eye is revealed, and Sanji says, I love it. I love you. I love the third eye. It's beautiful." Um, and after Sanji says, I love your third eye," we get a backstory on Pudding, and it's not that backstory is bad, but I feel it was maybe a touch misplaced. Like at this, like I feel that if you wanted for us to feel sympathy for the character, I think placing it in a different spot in the story would have been a little better. Like personally, for me, I would have placed putting that little moment of putting his backstory into I would have placed it in the chapter where we see Pudding holding Reiju hostage and Sanji listening into it. I feel that would have probably been a better spot in order to put it because it would have given us time to kind of even think a little more of okay of give us more thought onto the fact of okay should do you think we should hate do you think we should hate Pudding or should we like her? I feel that kind of would have been better because at like okay, I mean I'm sure there are going to be people who will still like even with this backstory, but again I feel that the backstory as a whole it was very misplaced honestly like that, but it's very misplaced. But it was the backstory itself is still fine. It was an amazing backstory because we see that no one loved her, not even Big Mom for God's sakes. Like the fact that Big Mom said that third eye is very creepy I want you to grow your hair out in order to cover it. Like really, Big Mom. really, you call yourself a mom and you fucking this is what I hate about Big Mom. Okay, she's such a fucking she portrays herself as this nice, kind woman in the eyes of her family, but really she's just a big fat bitch who doesn't give who only cares about appearances for the most part, which is ironic because she's pretty much she's a giant fat ass. But yeah, I've said too much. I've said enough on that. Um, now there's now now I want to talk about the fact that now I want to talk about the fact that during the fact that Dogtooth was trying to step in for Pudding in order to in order to was trying to step in place of Pudding in killing Sanji. Now now I want to be clear about something. The observation hockey thing, that one is not new. We already saw a hint that Sanji already knew observation hockey in the Fishman Island arc. So the fact that Sanji had observation hockey itself, that itself is nothing new. However, I think what Oda's doing with this particular with the fact that he was dodging so easily, dodging Dogtooth's bullets or Jellybean bullets so easily, is that I think it's Oda's way of showing that there are different levels of observation hockey. Like I'm sure hockey can actually evolve if it's put in certain stressful if it's it can evolve to certain levels if it's put into certain situations. And I feel that with Sanji managing to dodge all of his bullets in that effect, feel that is sort of Oda's way of saying yes. That Sanji's hockey has evolved beyond what it previously was, because if you think about it, even Dressrosa arc, we pretty much saw that Usopp himself had developed observation hockey, but the way Oda was portraying that type of observation hockey, it was observation hockey that was specifically best used for basically a sniper like Usopp. So this is showing that there are definitely different levels of hockey definitely different levels of different levels and mastery of hockey in each category. And I feel that Sanji has probably evolved his observation hockey to probably a new level, although as to what level it should be interesting to see. And now the final thing I want to talk about are those Luffy clones at the end of the chapter. I'm honestly not sure what I can even make of those. To be honest with you, like, okay, at the best possible best possibility the best possibility for anyone to think of is that Luffy's Devil Fruit has been under such stress. Luffy's Devil Fruit has finally evolved, but I don't think that would be necessarily the case, because it did seem a little, if so, then that does seem a little sporadic, unless we get an explanation of sorts. But yeah, I'm imagining it's probably with the help of someone else in Luffy's group that's helping him create those clones. But if it is, then I would like a full on explanation as to how he can, if it is Luffy's Devil Fruit that's doing those Luffy clones, then I would really like a full on explanation as to how the fuck he managed to achieve that with his Devil Fruit. Like, I mean, the best thing, of course, we can assume is that he awakened his awakening power. But I don't know. It all just seems way. It also seems a little too soon in order for him to have awakened his Devil Fruit to that extent. Like, I don't think Oda. I think Oda would want to see Luffy train or something in order for him to do that. So I don't think Oda's doing the awakening thing with Luffy just yet. But maybe he's teasing us with the fact that maybe Luffy can actually achieve something like this with his Devil Fruit. But yeah, guys. But for what it is, yeah, I don't think Luffy has achieved hockey just yet. But has achieved his awakening just yet. But we'll have to see in the next chapter. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review of One Piece chapter 862. It was a really good chapter. It had a lot of great stuff. It had a lot of great stuff in it, and like I said, shit is finally hitting. Shitting is finally hitting the fan, and I want to ask you guys what. Ask you guys for the longest time there have been for the longest time the question that's always been on my mind is do you think Luffy is even going to fight Big Mom, or do you think it's just going to be one giant distraction in order to do you think Luffy's going to follow a plan, or do you think he's just going to fight Big Mom? And also, what do you guys think of those Luffy clones at the end of the chapter? Do you think it's what do you guys think of those Luffy clones? What's your opinion on them? Do you think it's Luffy's awakening, or do you think it's someone else's power? But yeah, guys, that's my review of One Piece chapter 862. A great chapter. A lot of stuff was revealed. A lot of stuff was given to us in this chapter, and I can't wait for the next one. This is Death Knight. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.